Hello, everybody. It's time for another math ACT video. After this week, we'll let English have a few weeks to go at it, but I did pick a volume question this week. So let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. And I know it might be a little hard to read, but I'll kind of read off the word problem to you. It says, Ken baked, frosted, and decorated a rectangular cake for the last math club meeting. The cake was 3 inches high, 12 inches wide, and 16 inches long. He centered the cake on a piece of cardboard whose rectangular top surface had been covered with aluminum foil as shown below. So again, in a lot of these pictures we've been covering, the picture really says it all. This length right here is, this dimension is 12, 16, and then of course the height of 3. And there were several problems that they ask about this one scenario, but I just picked one. Number 14 here. It says, at the club meeting, the principal cut the entire cake into pieces. Each piece is 2 inches wide, 2 inches long, and 3 inches high. What is the number of pieces the principal could cut the cake into? So there's a couple of ways you could think about this. One of them, just think about how you cut a cake, and each piece is as high, obviously, as the cake. So you would cut, just lengthwise, like so. And if you think about that, the lengthwise cutting of the cake, if they're 2 inches by 2 inches for the length and width, we could just take 16 and divide it by 2. So we would be able to cut 8 lengthwise cuts, if you would, on that part of the cake. And then you could do the same thing with this other dimension. And so the cake would end up looking something like so when you were cutting it. So we could take the 12 and do the same process, divide by 2 to get 6. And then, of course, if we take those two numbers, 6 times 8, that's a way to quickly get how many pieces we could cut the cake into. It'd be 48 pieces, which was choice J. Also, there's an alternative way you could do this problem. You could actually find the volume of the cake itself. And if you remember, volume is length times width times height. That's a formula that's not going to be given to you on the ACT. You're just going to have that formula memorized. And then, of course, take the dimensions of the cake. They gave us the height of 3. They gave us 12 for the width, and of course 16 for the other dimension. And then you can just multiply those 3 numbers together to get 576 inches cubed. And then we want to divide the volume of just one piece of cake. So one piece of cake would look something like so, with dimensions of 3 times 2 times 2. Again, the same length times width times height formula, which would be 12 inches cubed. And then if you divide 576 divide by 12, if you put that in the calculator, that would also give you the answer of 48. So a couple of alternative ways to think about this cake problem. And again, the word problem itself is not as important as really just the picture with all the dimensions on it. And of course, the work of how we found the problem, how we found the answer. Okay, so like usual, I'm going to scoot up the problem and give you a very similar problem. These came off of 2 different practice ACT tests. So I'm going to scoot it up and I'll just read the question. And then if your teacher would pause the video for you to have a minute to try to work this very similar problem. So a company ships notepads in a rectangular box that each have inside dimensions measuring 9 inches long, 9 inches wide, and 12 inches tall. Each notepad is in the shape of a cube with an edge length of 3. What is a maximum number of notepads that will fit into one box? So again, if your teacher will pause the video and let you have a moment to try to work this problem. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so I can fit a picture on here of what's going on. So we've got some bigger box that they told us the dimensions were 12 inches tall, 9 inches, and 9 inches. And then they're trying to put these sticky notes, pack them inside of this box, and they want to know how many you could put in there. And you could do this both of the ways I did earlier. I'm just going to use the find the volume way. So here's my cube. A cube is going to have dimensions all the same. So this would be 3 times 3 times 3 for the dimensions. So we can quickly find the volume of that just by doing 3 times 3 times 3. Again, that length times width times height formula. So that would be 27. And this is inches cubed again. And then we can do the math of the big box, 12 times 9 times 9. And that's going to be 972. And then just like we did earlier, we can take the box that we're trying to fit these sticky notes in and divide by 27. And that gives us the 36. So 36 would be the number of sticky notes we could pack inside of the box. Okay, that will do it for today. Again, volume is a very important part of, the kind of questions you're going to see on the ACT, and, just like the area as well. It's very likely that you're going to have a problem that's got something to do with volume. So just make sure you study over some of those formulas. Okay, see you guys next time.